What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to another video. So yesterday was the light heavyweight championship for the WBA belt between CANELO ALVAREZ and DMITRY Bivol. And today I'm going over my thoughts on just how the fight was. Unbelievable fight. Hope you guys enjoy. So it was held in T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas. So the crowd was obviously for Canelo very much. And also Cinco de Mayo weekend. Of course, it's always a big tradition for Mexican fighters fighting on that weekend. Canelo is obviously very successful on that weekend last year, destroying Billy Joe Saunders. This year, I honestly thought Canelo was going to easily get past this dude. I definitely underestimated Bivol. I know he was a good fighter, but just looking at Canelo, like Canelo, pound for pound, no matter where he's at, just so unbeatable. And that's what makes this upset probably the greatest upset since Andrew Ruiz and Anthony Joshua. Probably even a bigger upset. Actually, no, I say that Andrew Ruiz upset was bigger, just because, I mean, look at Andrew Ruiz compared to Anthony Joshua. But looking at this fight, though, I definitely underestimated Bivol. I thought Canelo was going to stop him in 10 rounds. I really did. Canelo is just in his prime right now. He just keeps going. Now, obviously, light heavyweight is not his best weight. Probably his best class is probably 160 to 168. But I definitely underestimated Bivol. I had Canelo stopping him in 10 rounds. So Bivol was, I'm pretty sure, 19-0 going to this fight. Young, okay. I mean, Canelo probably had double the amount of fights, double the amount of wins as Bivol, if not more. But obviously, he has yet to really show himself. Obviously, he's a champion, defeated guys like Joe Smith Jr. But I don't know. I still just thought Canelo's experience, Canelo's, like, you know, his groove that he's in, his run that he's in, he's on fire. Just thought it'd be easy fight for him. But let's talk about the fight now. So, round begins. Round one, boring round usually. But usually round one of boxing, usually like very boring. Of course, everybody knows that. But you know, Bivol was going at him. Canelo, he was beaten up. He was beaten up a lot in this fight. Probably the most he's been beaten up ever since maybe Floyd, if not worse than Floyd. Rounds go on, and I'm really scoring it to Bivol. It was like 3-2 at one point. People are saying it was 3-2 Canelo. No, I think it was 3-2 Bivol. He was just outboxing him, and I never thought I'd say that. Somebody outboxing Canelo nowadays. Just a lot of power punches. His defense wasn't there, of course. Bivol, he was relying a lot, getting hit. I thought those power shots, Canelo was going to come back later on in the fight and, you know, get him. And I was saying in my head, I was like, Bivol, you gotta protect yourself, because one shot from Canelo, that's over. You can't have that. It's Canelo. You don't want to be underestimating him later on in the fight ever. It's just risky. But Bivol was giving it to him. I mean, power shots, outboxing him. I mean, I was expecting a knockout. There was times where Canelo was out of it. He was out of it. I generally thought that. He was just working him. That's all I can really say about the way that they were fighting. See, it's hard to do a review on a fight the day after. I couldn't, of course, do it right after, because it was like 12:30, 1 o'clock by the time I would have did that, especially watching the UFC, which I did watch. That was a good night of fights. As a fight fan, it was a good night yesterday. But going back to this, Canelo, he should never ever move back up. I know that he wants a rematch. I don't know. He really never gives his opponents rematches, but in all fairness, he destroys his fighters to the point where it's not even worth it to give him a rematch, because he beat him so bad the first time. Definitely would like to see a rematch. I can't really debate who's gonna win the next one. It's not like I'm gonna say, oh yeah, Bivol is gonna beat him again. No, it's Canelo. Obviously his career's not done. He's in a weight class that's not his natural weight class. Okay, his prime is 160 to 168 or a little below that. But he was moving up to show that what he could do. I respect that. I obviously won a light heavyweight championship belt a couple years ago against that one guy. I forget his name, but just proves that he could do it. There's even rumors of him going up to cruiserweight, even up to heavyweight. I don't think he should touch heavyweight. Cruiserweight, after that loss yesterday, I think he shouldn't bother. Of course, there's some guys that he could beat on the cruiserweight level, but I don't know. I wouldn't risk it. Maybe later on in his career, who knows? But I don't know. I think after this rematch, if he does rematch him, no more moving up for Canelo. That's just my thoughts. He's just not his natural weight, obviously. Bivol, though, I mean, definitely the best light heavyweight in the world right now. And then we have Joe Smith Jr. and Better Be fighting in that division also, I think, in June. So light heavyweight's a pretty good division right now. I'm actually excited. Good to see, good fights. But once again, Bivol, I was scared Bivol was gonna get robbed. I'm not gonna lie, in a crowd with the majority of Canelo fans. I know a lot of guys were favoring Canelo, of course. The scorecard was way too close, 115 to 113, way too close. I think Canelo maybe won with 3 rounds. I think Bivol won the rest. Yeah, it was the scorecard should not have been that close. Good fight by Bivol, definitely the best fight of his career. Best upset we've seen since Andy Ruiz versus Joshua. A lot of upsets yesterday, especially if you watched the Kentucky Derby. I don't know if you guys watched Kentucky Derby, but that was a huge upset too. We saw, we kind of saw Rose lose, so that was an upset in the UFC. Rose lose her belt. Gaethje getting embarrassed, but not embarrassed, but I mean kind of embarrassed because it was in his hometown, getting choked out like that in the first round. But anyway, back to Canelo Bivol. Good fight. I should have did the reaction video after the fight, not the day after, so I forgot a little bit. But you guys, I'm sure anybody watching, Bivol just outboxed him. Never thought I'd see somebody outbox Canelo besides Floyd Mayweather, but he did. Almost went for a knockout too. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know you guys' thoughts on the fight yesterday, or any other fights, or any other fights in the future. I'm out, guys. Peace.